Hello everyone, this is me Randy and welcome back to a brand new video. I have not done a story time video in quite a few years and I feel like this is a topic that deserves a story time because these two music genres have really been such a big part of my life since 2017, and I think these two music genres deserve to be mentioned here on the channel and how I became a fan of these two music genres. The two music genres that I will be talking about today in this storytime video is how I became a fan of both Japanese and Korean pop music. Now, before I start, I do want to mention that I'm also a fan of other Japanese and Korean music genres such as rock, hip hop, and R&B, but I will not be discussing about those music genres in today's video, as I feel like those are music genres that deserve their own separate video. So if you are interested in hearing my story on how I got into those genres, feel free to comment down below and let me know, because I think that'll be really fun to talk about. So just like many other people that are around my age and that grew up in the same time frame as me, I am a huge fan of anime and video games and a lot of groups and artists, both Japanese and Korean. I have heard about these groups and artists through anime and video games such as BoA, for example. I'm a huge Inuyasha fan, and BoA sang Every Heart, which is the 5th theme song for Inuyasha. So there was a lot of groups and artists that I also was familiar with and heard about in the past, but didn't really listen to them or didn't know that was them, such as Big Bang, Arashi, AKB48, Girls' Generation, SHINee, EXILE, even BoA. Like, I didn't know that BoA sang Every Heart until much later. So yeah, there was like a lot of music groups and artists, both Korean and Japanese, that either I heard of in the past but didn't really listen to their music, or I've heard their music in the past but didn't know it was them, so to say. So we're going to start off on how I got into J-pop, because that's actually the music genre that I became a fan of first. So like mentioned, some of the J-pop groups that I was familiar with was AKB48, EXILE, Arashi, Snap, News, Sexy Zone. The list goes on and on. But shockingly enough, the J-pop group that got me into J-pop isn't really your typical J-pop group. They are in relation to a anime and video game series. And the series that I'm discussing about is actually Love Live. So of course, like mentioned, I've been an anime and video game fan for pretty much my entire life. And I've heard about the Love Live series in the past, especially dealing with Nico, because back in the early to mid 2010s, Nico was quite the meme. She was really popular. So I've seen the series in the past. I've heard of the Love Live series and all that fun stuff. So one day when I was in college, this was in the summer of 2017 or the spring. I want to say it was actually the spring, not the summer, because I was not taking a summer course at the time. It was in the spring of 2017. A old friend of mine I saw one day at the cafeteria, catching up with her, talking, and she was talking about this series that she used to be a fan of a few years ago, and then she got back into it, and she was telling me about the game, and of course that was the first Love Live rhythm game. And she said, hey, you should check it out, I think you'll really like it. And she downloaded the game on my phone, and I remember this like it was yesterday. I remember it like it was yesterday, and it was before a class that we went to. And she said, pick a character that you like, and then, you can go on and proceed with the rest of the game. And the character that I picked for like my first Love Live character in the roster for the game was a lovely lady called Mari O'Hare. Yes, my first favorite Love Live character was Mari. And the reason why I picked her was not only because her color is purple, which is one of my favorite colors, but also she horseback rides. And for those that do not know, I own horses. And I was like, she's my favorite. I like her. And that's how I got into J-pop, surprisingly enough. And over time, I was listening to more of their music, and then I started getting into other J-pop groups too that weren't in association to anime or video game. And that's basically how I got into J-pop. It was all thanks to the Love Live series, and it's all thanks to Mari. And I eventually got really into the Sunshine, which is the second season of the Love Live series, and I also got really into the first season as well. And then I got into other series like Idol 7 and Zombieland Saga. And then of course I got into actual J-pop groups like Boom Trigger, Arashi, AKB48, Exile. And yeah, I can't believe that I got into Japanese pop music due to Love Live, but it's all great. Love Live have some amazing music, and I really am glad that my old friend of mine told me about Love Live, because I love that series so much. It's just such a great series, and it's just so much fun. I just really enjoy it so much, and that's one thing I really love about the J-pop scene, is that it's just so much fun. Like, the fandom is really fun. No matter what groups you're into, I feel like the J-pop community is just a really fun one. It's not as big compared to the K-pop fandom, but it's still just so great. And I've learned about so much in the years that I've been a J-pop fan, and I can't wait to learn more. There's always something more to learn, just like for K-pop, and I really am glad that I was able to get into J-pop through Love Live. So now we're getting into the K-pop side of the video, and I really am excited because I actually got through K-pop on my own. Like mentioned previously, I was familiar with a couple of groups and artists such as BoA, Girls' Generation, Big Bang, 21, SHINee. So I forgot about Psy. So I've heard about these groups, that I even was familiar with some of these groups' music. But the group that got me really into K-pop is BTS. Now, I know that a lot of you are probably not shocked by that at all. Some of you probably are shocked, but most of you probably are not surprised, because a lot of you got into K-pop through BTS as well. So it was towards the end of 2017. It was November of 2017. And I remember one day I was just going through my phone, looking through the YouTube Explore page, trying to find something new. I've been having so much fun getting into J-pop, and I was like, you know what? I've heard of BTS before as well. And I was like, let me check them out, because why not? It doesn't hurt. Like mentioned, I've really been enjoying J-pop, so let's see how K-pop goes. And the song was DNA. And I remember it as well, like it was yesterday, just watching that music video for the first time and being blown away by it. It was just the visuals, the members themselves, how the members sounded, the way the song was formatted. It was just everything. And I was amazed. I was like, oh my gosh, this song is awesome. I want to listen to it again. And I did. And I listened to it again and again and again. And I listened to that song for days on end, because I was just so blown away. And I was like, okay, this song is really good. Let me listen to the rest of these songs. And then I was like, these are really good. And the album that really made me a fan of BTS at the time was their past release, which was You Never Walk Alone. And I'll never forget listening to the solos and being like, this is incredible. Like, this is so good. Not only can they sing and rap so well as a group, but they can do it individually as well. And then I learned about other groups like 21, which I heard of in the past, and I was like, I remember them. And then Big Bang, which I remember them, so I checked them out too. And then Orange Caramel, Twice, NCT. I mean, the list just went on and on and on. And it's just so incredible how one group can really open up your eyes to a whole new world of music that you never really knew about. Like, I've heard of Gangnam Style in the past, and I heard that song that JYJ did with Kanye West back in the day, which I didn't know was a K-pop group, but I've heard that song in the past. And I heard of Every Heart, and like I've heard some K-pop songs in the past, but I just didn't know. And now that I knew that these artists were K-pop, I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have gotten into this sooner, but now I know, and now I'm getting into it. Just like with J-pop, there was a couple of songs that I knew as well that I was like, oh my gosh. So that's the song. And it has been so much fun. For both K-pop and J-pop, it has been so much fun. Now, for K-pop, of course, the fandom is a lot larger compared to J-pop, but it's been really fun. It can get a little bit hectic at times, but trust, I'm familiar with the wildness of fandoms. I mean, I'm a pro wrestling fan, so I could tell you firsthand, I have seen wild stuff. That doesn't really bother me. But it has been just so much fun just learning about, different activities and events. Like, for example, I didn't know about pen lights or light sticks until I got into J-pop and K-pop. I didn't know about cup sleeve events until I got into K-pop. I didn't know about the fan towels until I got into J-pop. I didn't know about fan meetings until I got into J-pop and K-pop. Like, there's so many things about both of these music genres that I didn't know about until I got into them. And it has just been so eye-opening to see so many amazing music groups and artists that I didn't know about up until I became a fan. And now I'm like, how was I even living? Like, how did I not know about TVXQ for a good 15 years of my life? I do not know how, but I didn't. And now I'm like, I never want to go back to those days ever again, because TVXQ, they're always going to be a part of my life. Like, there's so many J-pop and K-pop groups that are just a part of my music life and a part of my music journey now that I did not know about 10, 15, or even 20 years ago. And now I know, and now I can't look back, because being a fan of these two music genres means so much to me. Like, I'm so happy that I was able to find out about these genres. Like, you just don't understand how learning about so many new music groups and artists have made me feel so excited. Because a lot of my favorite Western music groups and artists, they don't really release music, if ever. And just wanting new music to come out from them, and just waiting and waiting and waiting. And as much as I love my favorite music artists that are non-Korean or Japanese, I do love them. I mean, I just saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers in New Kids on the Block this year, so I still very much love my favorite Western groups. But just being involved in music groups and artists that are more active, and not only that are more active, but a lot of my favorite groups and artists are like in my age range too, which makes it even cooler to see people that are my age doing all these amazing things, and that inspire me to do these things too. It's just so cool. And I've been having so much fun, and I've been having so much fun creating so much J-pop and K-pop content for you all. And I hope to continue doing it in the future. I've just been having so much fun, and I'm just so happy that I learned about these genres. And also, these music genres made me a fan into Korean hip-hop and R&B, Korean rock, even Japanese rock and Japanese hip-hop and R&B. So if it wasn't for K-pop and J-pop, I would have not gotten into those genres of music as well that are also a big part of my life too. So I'm just grateful, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I gave BTS a chance, and I'm so happy that I gave the Love Live series a chance, because if it wasn't for the Love Live series or if it wasn't for BTS, I would not be here today talking to you all about these. And I'm just grateful. I truly am grateful. And I'm just so happy that I'm able to expand my music interests in horizons in ways that I never thought I'll be able to do. And I'm just so happy. I'm just truly am so happy. And I'm so happy that I can share my journey being a fan of these music genres with you all as well. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, and also welcoming me with open arms too for both the J-pop and the K-pop communities. Thank you so much for just welcoming me. I've met so many amazing people of both genres that have just been so nice and so welcoming, and it's just such a joy. It's such a joy. So thank you so much, and I hope that I can continue to make more fantastic J-pop and K-pop content for you all in the future, because I've really been enjoying it, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. It's just been so much fun. So thank you all so much. I know it can be frustrating at times, but at the end of the day, the music is great, and that's all that really matters is the music. The music has just been outstanding, and all of you that I've met over the years have been incredible as well. So thank you so much. And that is the end of today's video. Once again, I'm going to say thank you, but it's true. Thank you all so much for listening to this video. I hope that you all enjoyed. And if you did, give it a thumbs up, and also comment down below how you became a fan of K-pop, J-pop, or both. I would like to hear all of your stories. And also subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. As always, this has been me, Randy. Thank you so much for listening once again. And I cannot believe that 2017 has been 5 years ago already. It's crazy. I can't believe that that was so long ago, but you know, time flies. And thank you all so much for allowing me to share with you all my story on how I got into K-pop and J-pop. So yes, I will see and talk to you all in the next video, and take care.